Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video. I'm excited to share a major update to my latest PCG Forest tool. For the past few months, I've been going to all of your comments and feedback, and I'm thrilled to announce that the old forest has received a complete makeover. My new PCG Forest 2 comes with several new updates and features. Best of all, and this was a highly requested change, the new version is now available on both the Fab Marketplace and my Gumroad page. You can find the links in the description below. For everyone who previously purchased the Forest, this is a completely free update, but enough talking. Let me show you exactly what's new and how you can start using these features in your own projects. Let's dive in. When you first open the project, you must enable the PCG plugin in your plugins panel. The program will then ask you to restart. I've already enabled my plugin, but if yours is unchecked, you will need to perform the restart. To begin, let's find the required files in the content browser. Navigate to the PCG Forest folder, where you'll see 3 blueprints. Before using them, go to File and create a new level and choose the basic level template. Drag the BP Forest blueprint into your level. You will see a spline circle, but nothing else. The tool doesn't require a landscape, so you can generate the forest directly on a floor mesh. First, select the floor mesh, go to the Details panel, and set its mobility to static. Select your PCG_Forest blueprint and go to the Details panel. Under the Vegetation category, choose the first data asset for the grass. You'll now see a bunch of cones within the spline. These cones are just placeholders for the actual assets that will be generated. As you can see, when we change the position of the PCG, the cones automatically and randomly changes. This is because the position acts as a seed for the procedural generation, ensuring you get a unique forest every time you move it. Now the next step is to fill in the data assets. These data assets are the library of 3D models or static meshes that the generator will use to populate your scene. You have the freedom to choose your own static meshes for this. For this demonstration, I'll be using the high-quality, free assets from Quixel Megascans, which are available on the Fab Marketplace. For a more detailed step-by-step walkthrough on how to properly set up and fill these assets, you can refer to my first video on the PCG Forest. However, for the purpose of this video, I will be speeding up this part of the process so we can focus on some new features. Now that we have filled all the data assets, our forest is complete and looks just like the old one, but with some new features. If you zoom out a little, you'll see a box around the spline that indicates the space where the PCG is generated. If you place the spline outside this box, the generated forest will not be visible. To create a larger forest, simply increase the size of this volume box, which will allow you to make your spline bigger. Be aware that a larger box requires more processing power and memory to generate your forest, so you'll need a powerful video card to create huge environments. I've created a new user interface for the controls, allowing you to change your assets by category. Let's start with the grass. You can adjust the grass density, creating more or fewer clumps, and control the distance between them. Use the seed to get random variations, and you can also rotate and scale the grass to your liking. You still have complete control over every asset category, from the density and scale to the randomization of each individual mesh. This powerful level of control allows you to fine-tune the settings to precisely fit the unique needs of your project. You are not required to use every category available. For a cleaner workflow and to achieve a specific look, you can easily use your own custom asset sets. Simply leave any categories you don't need empty. For example, if you only want to generate trees and rocks, you can leave the categories for bushes or flowers cover completely blank. This ensures your scene contains only the elements you want. The true flexibility of this tool lies in its ability to be used for more than just forests. By swapping in different assets, you can adapt the system for entirely new environments. For a desert landscape, you could replace the tree assets with large cacti and dried bushes, while using desert rocks for the rock category. For a sci-fi scene, You could use alien crystals, metallic structures, or geometric pillars in place of traditional trees and rocks. This makes the tool incredibly versatile, allowing you to build any kind of environment you can imagine. Now that your forest is complete, a new feature allows you to duplicate it or insert the blueprint again to create another version. You can then change this duplicate to be completely different from the original using the same controls. Just be sure to select the specific forest blueprint you want to edit. To change the assets of a new forest, go to the Data Assets folder in your content browser. Find the asset category you want to change, duplicate it, and give it a new file name. Then go back to the Details panel, select the new duplicated data asset, and change the mesh assets as you wish. It's also possible to combine and mix different blueprints to create more diverse and realistic environments. By using multiple blueprints together, you can introduce a wider variety of assets and generation into a single scene. If you're looking to expand the size of your forest, you don't have to be limited by a single blueprint. Simply duplicate an existing blueprint and place it next to the original to make a bigger forest area. You can then adjust each duplicate individually, giving you complete control over how each section looks. This modular approach allows for endless creative possibilities, so feel free to experiment with different combinations and arrangements until you achieve your desired result. You can also use other blueprints from the content browser, such as the BP_mesh blueprint, to remove vegetation. To create a path, use the Pathroad blueprint. You can then adjust its scale and seed in the Details panel. Let's start by creating a new landscape. Use the Sculpt tool to add hills and other terrain features, shaping it however you like. Once your landscape is complete, simply select the forest and move it into position. You'll see it automatically adjust and conform to the hills you've created. If you zoom in, you can see how the vegetation adheres to the new terrain. When you create tall slopes or hills, the forest generation system will automatically calculate the terrain's steepness and remove vegetation from those areas. In the Details panel, you can adjust the slope's angle to control this effect. can also sink the trees and rocks into the ground to prevent floating foliage on the tops of hills. Feel free to experiment with these settings to find what works best for your specific terrain. A new feature of the tool is the ability to generate a forest on any mesh. First, use the cleanup button to clear the current forest, which makes it easier to see. Now, when you insert new meshes or shapes onto the landscape and generate the forest again, it will build on top of them. You can also change the size of these meshes, and the forest will automatically regenerate to conform to the new shape. To prevent a mesh from being included in the generation, select it and go to the Details panel. Search for Tag, click the plus icon to add a new tag, and name it Ignore. Now, when you move your forest's blueprint, the tagged mesh will be ignored, and no trees will be generated on it. You can apply this method to any mesh in your scene to control exactly where the forest appears. Before we move on, I want to show you a powerful trick for working with large areas. In the Generate section of the Details panel, you'll find the Cleanup and Generate button. Cleanup makes the current forest invisible without deleting it, freeing up system resources. Generate then creates a new forest based on your updated settings. This is extremely useful for building large forest areas. You can quickly block out the size of your final forest with the spline, then use Cleanup to make the temporary forest disappear. This lets you work on your large spline without the PC's performance dropping. Once your spline is exactly how you want it, simply hit Generate to create your final large forest. This way, you can create massive, detailed forests without a performance hit. When you press Generate and zoom out, you might notice that a point of the spline can be dragged outside the volume. If you do this and then generate the forest, nothing will appear outside the volume box. To ensure the forest generates correctly, always keep your spline inside the volume box. And with these new possibilities, you're ready to start generating your own forests. I hope this was a helpful overview of the updated tool. Feel free to leave any questions or feedback in the comments section. For more content like this and updates on my tools, remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!